The earth receives UV radiation, heat and light from the sun. When the earth receives heat and light, it reflects back 100% of that. But earth has a layer of greenhouse gases that retain some of this heat within the earth's surface, making it warm and making life possible. Earth also has a layer of ozone that protects us from UV radiation that we receive from the sun. So greenhouse gas effect is good for sustaining life on earth. But what has happened is, over a period of time, due to human activities, this greenhouse gas layer has become thicker and thicker, and because of that, the earth's temperature is increasing gradually, because more and more of the heat we receive from the sun is being trapped on the earth's surface. This is called global warming, and that is leading to a phenomenon called climate change. This video is not a detailed video on these concepts. If you are interested and intrigued in understanding these concepts, there's a detailed video on my channel that you can check out. The link is in the description box. Now, you might wonder that what are those human activities that led to this sort of a thickening of the greenhouse gas blanket that Earth has around its surface. So, broadly, this is not an overarching list, but broadly, there are 4 activities that led to these type of greenhouse gas emissions. The first activity is agriculture. When we cut crops, we all know that crops take carbon dioxide and emit oxygen that is in the lifetime of a plant. But when we cut a plant, all the oxygen that the plant has, all the carbon dioxide that the plant has absorbed in its lifetime, it releases it back into the atmosphere. So agriculture, that is cutting of crops, deforestation, is the one of the major sources of greenhouse gas emissions, followed by industrial activity, where a lot of core industries operate on fossil fuels like coal, petroleum, etc., leading to increased emission of greenhouse gases, followed by electricity and transportation. Now these are the 4 broad reasons why greenhouse gas emissions have increased, and as human beings continue to consume more of these, obviously the extent of greenhouse gas emissions increases. Now this is the what part, but who are those humans who led to excessive emission of greenhouse gases in that Earth's atmosphere? So all the nations, all the people who use all of these excessively have led to the greenhouse gas effect being more prominent as of today. So obviously it is the nations that first went industrialized that began with this phenomenon, but followed by emerging markets which are now investing in cheaper fuels, which is mostly fossil fuels, leading to increased emission of greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere. And because this is a challenge that most countries have, the impacts are not same for everybody. So the countries that are probably more closer to the sea line, because climate change impacts precipitation levels, sea levels, ocean patterns, etc. The countries that are more prone to drowning, they are the ones who are most impacted because of climate change, and some other countries are not very impacted by climate change. So although climate change is real, not all countries will face the same impacts of climate change. So the who caused this climate change to start, and who needs to save the world from climate change, and who needs to invest in adaptation, are different discussions that a lot of countries have been having for a long period of time. One interesting discussion in this point is about absolute versus per capita emissions. Now, absolute emissions are the total emissions that a country has, and per capita emissions are the total emissions divided by the population of that country. So, more industrialized nations, for example, if you talk about a general lifestyle of a middle class family, that would vary from country to country. A lot of countries have intervention of a lot of appliances that involve usage of electricity, whereas a lot of other countries do not use so many appliances. So the per capita, per person electricity usage differs from country to country. So the emerging or developing markets want to focus on per capita emissions, whereas the developed countries want to focus on the absolute emissions. And primarily absolute emissions is what matters for our climate change fight, but different countries, because of their capabilities, their priorities, their development situation, have different opinions about who should actually work towards mitigating climate change. Now, this led to a lot of negotiations, and one concept that came out of these negotiations is called common but differentiated responsibilities. So, it is a common responsibility for all countries to fight climate change, but all of them cannot do it in the same way. All of them cannot have clean power plants, all of them cannot have lower per capita emissions, and so depending on the level of development, the amount of investment a country can make, they can differentially contribute towards fighting climate change. And so the developed countries probably will provide funding to the developing countries to invest in cleaner technologies. Whereas the developing countries, because their per capita emissions are anyways low, will probably begin with having a lower target for per capita emissions. They might want to adopt cleaner technologies from the beginning. Similarly, developed countries, when they are phasing out their coal-based power plants, they will probably now invest in cleaner power plants. And so, depending on the capacity, capability, resource constraint, the developmental needs of different countries, they will work towards mitigating climate change, but in a differentiated fashion. Why are we discussing this today? Because today climate change is not a topic of discussion. Today we are in a pandemic situation, and we don't even know whether we will survive this pandemic to be even thinking about climate change and our long-term life on earth. What I want to try and say here is that this COVID-19 pandemic, according to me, has presented a great example for how nations and even people in each nation have contributed towards common but differentiated responsibility. Just think of this. There are countries who were, COVID-19 did not impact every country the same way right from the beginning. There were countries which were more impacted, and there were countries that were less impacted. The more impacted countries received funding, received doctors, received PPE kits, received testing kits from the less impacted countries. So, depending on the resources available for each country, everybody contributed towards the fight against COVID. When a country needed medicines, the country that has production capability provided medicines to this country. When a country needed doctors, the country that had doctors provided doctors to the country that was fighting COVID. And the list can go on and on. Essentially, many countries have collaborated and contributed towards fighting COVID. The fight is not over yet, but you can see immense amount of cooperation between different countries to fight COVID. This is between two countries. Now think about what has happened within a country itself. Take any country, for example. You have your frontline workers who are always there to fight against COVID. These could be your doctors, hospital staff, medical staff, sanitation workers, police, media, etc. These are the ones who've been on the front line for fighting COVID. Over and above this, governments have come up with policies to protect frontline workers. They have come up with policies to protect the vulnerable sections of the population that probably will be more affected by COVID or has lesser access to COVID treatment resources. Government has partnered with other countries to provide support wherever is required. Then we have businesses who have supported frontline workers. So companies that manufacture COVID fighting equipment have scaled up their capacity, repurposed their factories, and ensured that they can do the best they can to fight COVID. The businesses that do not directly contribute towards COVID fight have contributed towards economic development by providing additional support to their employees, by providing partnerships with government so that they are able to contribute towards the local economic development. They have partnered with government to manage the disaster. They have probably provided food and shelter to migrant workers. So businesses, in whatever they can, they have contributed to the fight against COVID, and individual citizens have also played their role. Whoever needs to support the frontline workers has done so. Whoever cannot do anything have been at home for the past 4 or 5 months, being in isolation, maintaining social distancing so that the burden on the frontline workers reduces, burden on government reduces. Citizens have also gone ahead and helped those they can with charity activities, with food, shelter, clothes, PPE, etc. You can nicely see that the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities has been very nicely used in the fight against COVID, where multiple nations collaborated. They did not argue about who caused this and what has happened. They all agree that this is a common fight that we all need to have, and they have collaborated, and in a different way they have agreed to cooperate and work towards fighting COVID. Even within a country, you can see that different elements, different entities that make up an economy have contributed towards the fight against COVID. We have frontline workers doing the frontline work. We have government doing their own work. Businesses, citizens are helping the fight against COVID in their own ways. So this entire journey of COVID actually makes me feel that this principle of common but differentiated responsibilities is not a theoretical concept. It can actually be achieved, and I am positive that someday we will all mitigate climate change through the CBDR concept. As citizens, like we have taken it upon ourselves to maintain the rules of lockdown, to stay indoors whenever possible, to help whomever we can, we also can contribute towards fighting climate change. Think about it and do whatever you can to fight climate change also along with COVID.